Welcome into the WIU Football Coaches Show alongside the head coach of the Western Illinois football team, Bob Nielsen. I'm Danny Fry. The Fighting Leathernecks look to rebound from a shutout loss at Illinois on the road against FCS number 1 Coastal Carolina. The game came down to the final play, but Western came up short, losing 34-27. Coach, explain how the team was able to compete in a back-and-forth type game like that.
Well, great football game. I thought we elevated our level of play, which was one of the things that we had talked about all week coming out of the Illinois game. Was pleased with a lot of the things in the football game, except for the final outcome.
Now let's take a look at the first half highlights from the surf turf at Brooks Stadium in Conway, South Carolina. Coach, I have to ask, did playing on the teal turf kind of affect how your team played? They wore those teal jerseys that blended in a little bit.
Yeah, not really. It's the same surface as what we have, just a different color, and it made it hard to pick out numbers for commentators, but from the sideline it didn't make much difference.
Yeah, it made my job a little harder, but right here, Xavier Rowe doing his job, punching the ball incomplete out of the hands of John Israel, really a heads-up effort. But Western stopped the drive, but Ryan Granger still knocked through a 21-yard chip shot, but a big stop at the time, Coach, only 3-0 Coastal.
Yeah, the ability to keep them out of the end zone there showed some grit by our defense, and they were a very good offensive football team and one that caused us problems throughout the course of the day.
Another thing that caused some problems with the return game proved to really be a factor in this one. Chris Jones, with this punt return, able to set up good field position for the Chanticleers. Why has Coastal excelled in the return game so far this season?
They've got great team speed. Might well have been the fastest team that we've played so far, and maybe one of the fastest teams that we'll play this year in terms of team speed. Excellent return people. We made a mistake or two in coverage, and when you make a mistake in coverage against a team that has quality return men, you're going to get burnt.
But the defense held Coastal to a 3-and-out, 46-yard attempt by Granger, pulled wide right. Coach, had to be proud of the defense at that moment.
Big stop, keeping them off the board after that long punt return, kind of thing that can swing momentum.
Slant route over the middle to Stacy Smith, and you really tried using him more of a target on Saturday.
Trent did a great job of distributing the football. We got multiple receivers involved in the passing game. This was a play that we put in specifically to try to take advantage of a certain coverage.
Javon Williams left wide open, goes all the way down the 1-yard line where he stepped out. Really, what happened there?
I think he misjudged where he was on the field. Should have definitely gotten the ball in the end zone there. But they blew a coverage off of play action, something again that we took advantage of during the course of the day, and we were able to get the ball in the end zone here in the next play.
In a situation like this, it's really nice to have a versatile runner like Nico Watson. He'll just barrel into the end zone, like you mentioned, put WRU up 7-3 with 7:43 left in the second quarter. Nice to have that part of the game back.
Yeah, his return certainly benefited our offense. He's a guy that is a strong physical runner, a lot of yards after contact, something that we've been missing in our running game.
The Chanticleers would answer right back with a very formulaic drive, and it would result in a 2-yard touchdown run by D'Angelo Henderson, their main back, and you knew they were capable of that kind of drive.
Yeah, they have outstanding personnel on defense or on offense. Their running back is as good as any we'll face this year, and a guy that probably will have a future in football beyond Coastal Carolina.
Ross stepping up in the pocket, but he's hit from behind by John LaChapelle and Colin Olsen. Ball pops loose, recovered by John Mark Charles at the shot 26-yard line. How was the defensive line able to put Ross, make sure he was kind of on his toes all evening?
Well, we mixed some coverages up. He's a quality quarterback. He made plays, but he's going to make plays against anybody and this was a big play, a big opportunity for us to put points on the board right before half, and unfortunately we were unable to capitalize.
Yeah, right here, Nathan Knuffman with a 41-yard attempt blocked by Coastal's Anthony Chesley, and then recovered to end the first half with the Leathernecks trailing 10-7. And Coach, the game really flew by. What were the initial thoughts, kind of like a whirlwind when it happened coming out of halftime?
Yeah, a lot of momentum swings. It's the kind of game that you're going to expect when two good football teams play. And I think there were eight or nine lead changes in the game. Obviously, we needed one more at the end, but We knew it was going to be a competitive second half where we were going to have to move the football and score.
Coach, the Alex Ross fumble was really the only turnover of the game. As you mentioned, Western wasn't able to score. That really proves your point that you mentioned last week, being able to capitalize off of turnovers.
Yeah, it's a mentality thing, something that we have to get a little bit better at. Here we had a ball possession inside the 30-yard line, the only time we had possession all day on their side of the 50. And that was a drive where we need to tighten up. We need to make every play count, and unfortunately ended up with a long field goal attempt and knocked the ball in the end zone.
Thank you, Coach. And all right, let's stay tuned for the second half highlights. On the other end of this commercial break, you're watching the WIU Football Coaches Show, your home for WIU football.
Western Illinois University allows you to think for yourself and to discover the freedom to become your own.
Own it at Western. Build your own expectations and fill your own shoes.
Explore an academic culture that adapts to you.
Create yourself and inspire originality in an open and safe environment.
Western Illinois University lets you make your own success story.
Think purple.
Think success.
Think Western Illinois University.
Welcome back to the WIU Football Coaches Show. I'm Danny Fry with Leatherneck head football coach Bob Nielsen. Coastal Carolina up 10-7 at the break, and fans were expecting a lot of scoring. Why was it so low scoring early on, Coach?
I think each of the offenses from a rhythm standpoint really didn't get going, and credit that to the defenses. In the second half, both offenses got going and played very consistently back and forth, and that's the way the game was.
Time to see all that happen now in the second half highlight. A lot of action in the second half. Let's get right to it. Nico Watson busts off a run of 39 yards, his longest run of the day to the far sideline. Still rumbling. He'll go all the way into Chanticleer territory. And then a couple plays later, Trenton Norvell to the air fires a 23-yard strike to Joey Borsellino to the goal line. Good ball placement by Trenton there.
Trent threw the ball very well all day, got the ball in the right spots, and we had open receivers. Our play action stuff was better as a result of our being able to run the football and allowed us to be very balanced in our attack.
Yeah, and again, we talked about having Nico Watson for these situations right here. Scores on the touchdown run after that big run, really fitting for him. Western up 14-10 early in the third quarter.
Yeah, really a chance to establish a little bit of dominance in the football game. Ran it right at them there. Great line surge, pushing the ball into the end zone.
Yeah, and on the ensuing kickoff, though, we talked about the special teams of Coastal Carolina. Devin Brown, of his 5th career kickoff return for a touchdown. He goes 93 yards. Somehow that is the shortest kickoff return he's had in his career. And how was he able to streak down the sideline?
He's got great speed, and we misfit the kickoff. We worked all week on kickoff coverage, knowing that he was a dangerous guy, and our kickoff coverage was feast or famine. We had some great coverages, trapped the ball inside the 20-yard line, and then let this one get out the gate.
Steady diet of pass plays on WIU's next drive, down 17-14, no longer after a 13-yard touchdown pass to Borsellino in the right corner. A good job by Joey to readjust and make the catch.
Yeah, great route. Those two, we talk about the connection that Lance and Trent have. Well, Joey and Trent have great connection too, and was really a character drive. When we're down, we take the lead, give up the kickoff return for a touchdown, and then show a lot of character in taking the ball right back down the field and scoring.
Yeah, and then CCU deciding to go back to the run on their next drive. They'll give it off to their main back, as I mentioned before, D'Angelo Henderson. He'll go 39 yards of a few nice moves, and he's really effective once he can get into the open field, and that puts them in good field position for their kicker. Ryan Granger, with 3:28 remaining in the third quarter, hits the 45-yarder. 21-20 Leathernecks held on to that 1-point lead heading into the fourth quarter. Then Alex Ross airs it out down the sideline for a 19-yard touchdown pass to Chris Jones. Coastal back on top, and he was looking for that play all game, and it finally worked at that point.
Yeah, we were struggling stopping the run and had to go to a man coverage look, or a coverage look rather, that put our corners into one-on-one situations, and they took advantage of it.
Going for two, this pass is incomplete thanks to David Griffith flying in out of nowhere. He's really been making athletic plays like that all year, and then the Leathernecks decide to go back to the air. It's Lance Lenore making a fantastic sliding grab, and that's really a difficult play.
Yeah, more difficult than it actually appears when you have to adjust your body as you're going down. But that's Lance's forte. He's got tremendous body control and will make those kind of plays on a consistent basis.
Yeah, and then Nico Watson running over to the sideline, and he will keep going, so the Leathernecks are driving again. And then Coach talked about this play. Simple toss play over the middle to Stacy Smith. That put the Leathernecks up 27-26.
Yeah, it's a play that's designed teams that are going to play man coverage. It's a combination route where we got a lot of guys crossing, and it's pretty easy to lose somebody, and good eyes by Trent to find the guy that's open and get the ball to him.
Yeah, it was 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. 2-point conversion for the Leathernecks, unsuccessful. So then it's Devin Brown again on the kick return out of the end zone. He'll take it 46 yards, putting the shots in prime field position, and that had to have them feeling pretty good at that point.
Yeah, you know, we lose a little momentum here on the kickoff return, and again, you know, a couple of young players that misfit the kickoff, and something that we've got to correct.
Seesaw battle continued. 3-yard touchdown run by D'Angelo Henderson here. 2-point conversion good. 34-27 Chanticleers, about 7:55 left. Defense of a 3-and-out stop late, tackling Ross. So Leathernecks get the ball with 1:27 left. A few heaves to the end zone for Norvell. This is the last play of the game. Knocked down, incomplete. What were you looking for, Coach?
Well, we ended up in a Hail Mary situation. We actually had thrown the ball into the end zone, had a chance to make a completion a couple of plays before this, and then got an offensive pass interference call on the next play, which backed us up to the 50. So we had to work our way back with short time to get in a position to throw one more down the field.
What effort and heart shown by the Leathernecks. Here's a look at the final box score. Career-high passing yards for Trenton Norvell on Saturday, 370 yards. 2 touchdowns to go along with that. And correction there, Alex Ross, 15 of 23. Didn't have to play Westlawn again. Alex Ross, 15 of 23, 153 yards and 2 touchdown grabs. But Western really dominated the offensive statistics, 27-20 advantage on first downs, 546 yards to 349 yards of total offense for the Chanticleers as well. And partly how you're able to put up those numbers, what adjustments were made on offense to make those drives successful?
Not a lot. You know, I think we executed better. We talked about coming out of the Illinois game that it really wasn't our game plan. It was just the fact that we didn't execute as well as we needed to. I think our plan was very good. Trent obviously made great decisions with the football. We had some guys step up. Certainly the balance, being able to run the football better, made our passing game that much more available to us, and we need to keep that kind of balance as we move forward in the conference schedule.
Now, the main point brought up during media day was to finish games. Although the result was a loss, how pleased were you with your team's final drive and able to have that drive at the end with stops?
Well, we certainly showed some toughness at the end of the game. We kept coming back after they scored. Obviously, we'd like to get that last touchdown in the end zone. You know, we were in a position where we felt really good about what we were doing offensively. Both of our last drives, we had penalties that got us off schedule. And, you know, one of those, a procedure penalty by a young lineman that had to step in when one of our starters got hurt. And the other one, a pass interference call that I think was a really questionable call. But either way, you've got to be able to overcome those situations, and we were unable to do that on those final drives.
Yeah, definitely. More on the way next. You're locked in to the WIU Football Coaches Show.
Founded in 1985, the Missouri Valley Football Conference has established a tradition of FCS football excellence. Competing at the highest level at NCAA Division I, student athletes at its 10 institutions demonstrate character, passion, and integrity as they grow as a student, an athlete, and a citizen. The Missouri Valley Football Conference, where leaders are shaped and champions are forged.
I always knew I would be a leatherneck. Western was the only university I applied to. The educational opportunities at Western provided me experiences and lessons in leadership and service. The faculty and staff at Western genuinely care about the students, and I know that choosing WIU is key to the beginning of my success story. Think purple, think success, think Western Illinois University.
Welcome back to the WIU Football Coaches Show. I'm your host, Danny Fry. Western Illinois football fans became accustomed to the hard-nosed running of Nico Watson ever since he appeared in the final 4 games of his freshman season. Watson rushed for over 500 yards his junior season in 2013, and then last season elected to use his redshirt year. After missing the first 2 games of the 2015 season, Watson shook off the rust like he never left.
Yeah, it was definitely pretty clear I wanted to come back and redeem myself, show people who I really am and my true character, and just coming back I was on a mission to come back. Coach Nielsen set the standards high, and I met each one of them.
Watson's teammate since 8th grade in Rock Island, Larry Harris, remembers when he first heard the news that Nico would miss all of last season.
It was definitely like a shocking event because the situations that he was put in was kind of unfortunate, but then again, you got to move on and keep pressing forward. Even though we lost the big factor, we still had J.C. Baker who took the load and made up for a lot of that. Demo stepping at the end of the season also came in and did a lot for us. But having Nico back this year, in our first couple games, we definitely struggled with our run, but having him back for the 3rd game definitely proved that he was a presence missing.
WIU running backs coach Steve Crutchley knows why the Leathernecks had a balanced run game on Saturday.
Well, honestly, I think Nico Watson had a lot to do with that. He did a great job of just running real hard, and they had trouble tackling him, bringing him down. Extra effort by him, and it was good to see. It's been a long time coming for him.
But everybody on the team and coaches included, they knew my character. They knew what type of person I was and how hard I worked for my senior year last year. And I think Coach Nielsen just wanted to give me another chance to redeem myself.
Watson was named the starting running back last Friday, something that he had been waiting for a long time.
Definitely, it was a huge smile. I wasn't trying to make it noticeable, but it was a huge smile. But I knew that wasn't. I had to make it worthwhile, make it worth starting. I wanted to give it my all, and that's what I did.
Just with the time off and sitting back and watching everybody else, I think he had an opportunity to reflect on how important the game was to him and what it meant to him, and so when he played, you saw that he had something to prove, and it was fun to watch.
Seeing Kenso, seeing JJ, and them play, and those are the players I came in with. It was kind of hard not to play with them, but they were positive to me, kept me going and kept me, made me work hard on the off season, made me get back to where I'm at right now.
The locker room morale has picked up since Watson's return.
The locker room is definitely excited. All the guys Sunday were coming in like, wow, Nico, you're a force, you're a bowling ball, because a lot of those guys didn't get to see him play last year or the year before that. So having him in the locker room now, he's definitely brought up a lot of spirits, and a lot of guys are happy to have him back, actually.
Now that he's back, there's only one goal for the Leathernecks.
Wants to win, and he's performed in practice, and he's played hard in practice as well. So he was just waiting for his opportunity and made the best of it.
I want to win, man. I mean, that's the team goal. I want to win. I want to bring the culture back, bring the Leatherneck tradition back, and I wouldn't mind having my class up there on that board back there. To be the class to turn everything around, and that's the main goal, is to win games, and I'm pretty sure that's going to start next week in homecoming.
Coach, talk about Nico Watson and why he was able to put on a show Saturday.
Well, Nico's a big physical running back, and certainly, excited to have him back. But really very proud of him. You look back and he had a very serious illness in the second half of 2013 and didn't get a chance to finish out that year. And then with some off-the-field things, was not a part of our program in 2014. It would have been very easy for him to hang it up and say his college football career was over. But he persevered, battled back through a lot of things that he needed to battle back through to finish his year the right way, both football-wise and to graduate in December.
Would you call him almost like an X factor for this team in those short yard situations, something that he missed the first 2 games of the year?
He's a different type of back at 250 plus pounds, a very difficult guy to bring down. He's going to make our short yardage offense a lot better. At the same time, as you saw Saturday, he's very capable of being a complete back and play on an every down basis as well.
Let's take our last break of the show, but stay tuned, as up next, Coach and I will talk about what the Leathernecks will focus on during the upcoming bye week.
I chose Western because it reminded me of home and for its outstanding forensic chemistry program. My classes and academic experiences give me the knowledge I'll need for my career. The programs at Western teach me to lead and contribute to my community. I know my choice is the beginning of my success story. Think purple, think success, think Western Illinois University.
WIU Football Coaches Show. It's time to check in on how the Missouri Valley football teams performed this last weekend. Though some interesting scores, Indiana State topping SEMO 29-28 in a close one, and then battle in a Mid-America, Illinois State over Eastern Illinois 34-31. That one came down to a final field goal attempt by the Panthers. And then in the rivalry game, NDSU all over North Dakota 34-9. And now the game's taking place this week in the Missouri Valley Football Conference in week 4. A lot of teams on a bye. The only team not on a bye, only teams rather, would be South Dakota State and Southern Illinois. SIU getting Liberty fresh off a win over Montana. So no opponent on the schedule this week for Western. And Coach, is that nice after such a close physical game at Coastal Carolina?
Well, it gives us a chance, hopefully, to get a couple guys back that may have been questionable for this week. And it was a kind of trip that I think having a little time off is good for it. Those late night long games, flying back. We didn't get back here until early Sunday morning, and as a result would have made this week very short as far as preparation. But what I don't want to lose is I don't want to lose the momentum that we had and the improvement that we've shown, and so our focus this week will be on improvement.
Yeah, and is it odd having the bye weekend this early in the season? Normally it's more about a few weeks, almost a month from now.
Actually, it's in my opinion, it's better. It gives you a chance to retool a little bit and place emphasis on those areas that really need to be shored up. And we've been disappointed with our kicking game. We're going to spend a lot of time on the kicking game this week, trying to make sure that we execute at a higher level than what we have over the first 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. And also, I mean, they have another bye week this year with the FCS too. Do you like that, having 2 bye weeks and 1 less game, or do you like 1 more game of action?
Well, football is a very unique sport. There's no sport like it where you devote as much time for as few playing opportunities. And so the ability to play 12 games is something that I think we should have every year, not just on those years where the calendars allow it. And And I know there's legislation that's going to come forward here probably this year to allow FCS to add that 12th game.
Now, is there anything specifically this week as you get ready for Southern Illinois after the bye week that you're diving into this week for the coaching staff?
Oh, it's a combination of early preparation for Southern Illinois as well as focusing on some fundamental things. I talked about the emphasis on the kicking game. We've got some things both offensively and defensively that we feel that we've got to improve upon to be a team that can make a run at a Missouri Valley Conference championship. And so that'll be our focus this week. It'll really be a twofold focus. Our guys will have the weekend off to recuperate and regenerate and come in with great focus for next week on Southern Illinois.
No kickoff this week for the Leathernecks like Coach mentioned, but that doesn't mean we're also on a bye, so make sure to tune in next week. For Coach Nielsen, I'm Danny Fry. Thanks again for watching.